Hello, my name is Dr. Jeff Craig, and I'm the Superintendent for the West Aurora Schools. Today is our inaugural opportunity to help communicate with our staff and our community regarding the functionality of our school board meetings. I know it's not always easy to come out on a Monday night, and so we thought we would try to implement our current technology to be able to further our ongoing efforts to communicate things that are happening around the district. So, as a format, we are intending to recap the previous month's board meetings. So we have 2 board meetings a month on the first and third Mondays of the month. And so here we are in February, and we're going to recap our 2 board meetings in January. The board usually has a format of 3 items or 3 discussion times for each proposal or initiative. And those are in forms of information, discussion, and action. And so as they move from step to step, you will see those over at least 3 meetings in approximately a month's time. The board will consider and talk about in public. Those items are of import, and then the final step is an action item where they will either vote for or against a proposal. So let's begin with the January 8th board meeting. And in the information steps, we always have our school improvement plan. And at the January 8th meeting, we had our Hope Wall school improvement presentation by the principal, Dr. Klett, and assistant principal, Mrs. Kelly Pearson. We also had our health, life, safety project proposals. And so I will go through that list just so you can get a sense of the different projects around the district that we are contemplating. So we are looking at replacing the rooftop HVAC units at Hope Wall, and repairing the HVAC controls at Hope Wall. HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. We are looking at replacing the dust collector for the wood shop at West High. We are also looking at adding 19 parking spaces at Hope Wall. We are contemplating resurfacing the east parking lot at West High. We are looking at replacing the roof at Nicholson, adding additional parking at Smith Elementary, upgrading the temperature controls at Herget Middle School, and we're also looking at resurfacing the parking lots at Jefferson Middle School. If those projects come under our budget, we are also considering alternate projects of resurfacing the bus loop at Nicholson Elementary, as well as resurfacing the service drive at Goodwin Elementary. As a step 2 under discussion items, we are looking at considering the draft proposal made by Dr. Michael P. Smith on the draft calendar that was also part of the calendar committee district-wide. And that's for considering the school year calendar for school years 2018-19 and also the subsequent year of 2019-20. Another discussion item was brought forward by our Director of Transportation, Mrs. Lynn Head, and that's the bus lease refresh. And that would be replacing 47 of our buses that are in their final year of the lease. And this would not only alleviate 1 year of maintenance obligations, but also we would be transitioning from diesel to gas. As an action item at the January 8th board meeting, there was after 3 contemplations of these different proposals, there were 7 contracts that were proposed, and those bid approvals were for work on the new instructional center, formerly known as the Dreyer Clinic. At the January 22nd board meeting, in the information segment, we had our school improvement plan presented by Principal Dr. Greg Scalia and Assistant Principal Mrs. Amy Towns. In our discussion item, this was the second time we've heard this conversation, and this was about our driver education simulators at the high school. And the proposal is to replace the current equipment that is approximately 13 years old. This will go to action at the end of the first board meeting in February. And the last item was an action item that will be proposed for the board for them to vote for or against, and that's the calendar proposals for the school year 2018-19 and the calendar year 2019-20. Also, as an action item was the bus lease refresh. Both of those items were approved by the board on January 22nd, and they will move for implementation for next year. So this was our first segment of board recap. At the end of the second board meeting in February, we will then recap for you those happenings and those items as we just talked about in this framework. We hope this helps in you understanding some of the conversations at the board level and in our effort to keep you all informed about what's going on. Thank you.